to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
I'm particularly kind of interested in your background in the digital marketing consulting space, now running a manufacturing company. I'm kind of curious how you look at business and leadership differently.
Yeah, so I am not a micromanager. And so I would say one of my weaknesses is not to get in too deep into the weeds. It's usually to maybe stay too far from the weeds. And so that tends to work pretty well. That served me very well as a consultant for years because I didn't need to know all the details because I would probably stay a little bit higher level and think about strategically what do we need to do. In manufacturing, that serves you very well if you can trust all the people who work for you. And so, as you can imagine, if you're not sure who's doing what, how it's being done, and that sort of thing, you don't even know what you don't know. And so the first, probably year and a half, we're just really digging in, trying to understand all the facets of the business, but not be a micromanager at the same time, because there are always people. I mean, we got a ton of employees that have been there for decades. And so I want to know enough to be able to make an informed decision, but I also know that I can go blow up somebody's day and then not even know that I had no clue what I was talking about.
Right.
And so I want to have that awareness, and I want to make sure I get enough information to help, to push, because sometimes I just need to be the one that pushes. And so I came into the role trying to figure out, how do I really make an impact here to see where this business is going? It's been around for decades. It's been around for over 40 years. Where are we going? What's going on? And how do we push it to grow? And so having very strong detail guys in the finance and operations team that I can trust implicitly, I think that's the magic of what makes it work for us. So sales, marketing, customer service, those folks report directly to me. Eric, our finance guy, he's got a great handle on his team, great team. And Aaron, as our operations guy, has a great team and has a wonderful understanding of what they need to do. And so the three of us talk a lot. I think we've got a really good thing going. And then we often make decisions collectively, or at least inform each other, and we'll bounce things off each other. And we've got a good culture where we can disagree with each other. But it doesn't get weird. You're just like, all right, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
And so or you may say, hey, I want to do this. Is this dumb?
Yep.
And then they need to feel free to say that.
Yeah. Have you gotten sort of disinterested blank stares from the more hourly or folks on the floor when you're bringing them into some of these monthly meetings and talking about goals and direction of the company and those types of things? As you become more transparent, it sounds like your leadership style is maybe more transparent than maybe what they've had in the past. And, that kind of cuts both ways. Sometimes people just want to know what they should do, and they just come in and punch a clock and put their head down, do their work, and go home. And they don't want to be brought in on all this other stuff,
Sure.
And then some people do enjoy being brought in on that stuff. And I know that's one thing that, I've seen it both ways in our company in the past where, we've seen it both ways where there's good and bad. So how are you finding your balance there with transparency?
So, I mean, the interesting thing with being transparent is that you hope and assume everybody can handle it, right? Classic, few good men, can you handle, or you can't handle the truth. So I tend to err on the side of putting the truth out there, and then if somebody can't handle it, then we'll explain it to them.
Yep.
Perhaps one-on-one, or kind of push that truth in a little further if we need to. And so I would say the team, the company, and the employees as a whole have responded to it really well. I mean, again, we started doing that well before the tornado. It has served us well because I think they needed to see and hear that there wasn't this massive divide between management and the rest of the company and all the different sort of middle management and the layers, within. We need to pull together and say, we're all in this together, but we all have different roles and we all have to serve in different ways. And at the end of the day, we got some guys in New York that are looking at me and trying to say, are you leading us where we need to go?
Yeah.
They want to see a return on their investment. I want them to see a return on their investment. That'll be good for everybody. And so it's been good to see our folks. Frankly, they just really responded
Good.
well. I mean, there are a few times where we get off into some details and somebody maybe doesn't quite understand what we're saying. And, one of our supervisors might pull them aside and help them understand it. But I don't regret the strategy or approach at all.
Is the common comp on the floor, is it hourly or is it more piece rate?
We've got a mix of hourly and salary. So once somebody moves into a more leadership position, they'll typically be a salaried employee, and then otherwise it's an hourly.
Yep. Okay. And the ownership group, is it several or is it like 20? Like, is this?
It is one organization now.
Okay.
Out of New York. Yeah.
And what is your reporting structure like to them? Do you have monthly business reviews? Or?
So it is. I think I've got a pretty sweet deal because they are very content to trust us to do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I have not felt. I mean, these guys they're outstanding, and so they're amazing partners. They offer support. They're there when we need them. They're also happy to not get pulled into stuff that they don't want to be.
Yep.
So I think there are situations where owners can get way too deep into things, and then of course if they ask for things, then it can undermine what maybe management is trying to do, and it can be a huge mess.
Yeah.
And so. So our ownership team is not doing that.
Do you have a really clear, though, reporting structure? Like, is there things they get weekly and monthly and quarterly, or not so much?
So they would get daily reports, actually, pre-tornado. And so we're in the process of bringing the daily and the monthlies back.
I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. Is there anything that, and the answer might be no, which is fine, where you thought of business kind of one way when you were in the digital marketing consulting space, but now that you're president of this manufacturing company, you see, what I thought before, it's actually not so much like that. Here's how it kind of is, Is there anything where you've had a change of view on anything?
I would say I want to be careful here. I've realized how much I didn't know about business.
Sure.
When I was consulting businesses. So to whoever I consulted poorly, for 11 years. I should probably apologize. But I feel like 2.5 years leading an actual organization that has actual employees with all the actual things that you have to do that come along with that. And, being a consultant, there were hardly any hard costs. Labor wasn't something I was thinking about on a regular basis. Delivery times and managing international customers and all of their expectations. It's just in the finance side, with ownership and banks and insurance and lawyers and like all the things. I mean, I feel like I've gotten an MBA in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I believe that
at the company, and it just shows me how much I didn't know when I was talking specifically about business and consulting. And so it does make me wonder. I think I'm probably more skeptical now of a lot of people who are consultants if they haven't been in business.
Sure. Yeah.
Only because I would be skeptical of myself.
Sure.
2020 Bill would be skeptical of, say, 2017 Bill.
Yeah. And I think it depends on what you're trying to get out of 2017 Bill, too, because if you are a manufacturing company, or a president of a manufacturing company, or any company for that matter, but you're looking for some consulting or some input from an expert on a particular subject matter, back to 2015 Bill or 2017 Bill, well, then you're just looking for that guy who knows a lot about that one particular subject. But if you're bringing in a business consultant or a business advisor, that type of a thing in a more holistic approach, then I think it really that experience really does matter because it is different. Yeah, when you're in when you're in it, it really is.
Yep.
Labor costs very important. Overhead's very important. I would know.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. All those things.
There's some things that went sideways for us for sure. Counting systems are also very important. Have them neat and tidy and keep them clean. Do not let
Oh
that,
yeah,
do not let that get out of hand.
We've had a few folks come through accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you do try to
So-
change your accounting system, make sure you really stay on top of that. What do you use?
So we use an ERP system that's specifically for manufacturing.
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah.
ready. You're ready into ERP then?
Yeah.
Did you implement that, or was that?
No, it's been
implemented?
around for a long time.
Oh, great.
But so again, the company wasn't fully utilizing it.
I see.
And so the company had it for 20 years,
Oh, wow.
but wasn't fully utilizing it. And
Okay.
so we started to lean into it more in late 2019, and it hadn't been upgraded in about a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a massive, so beyond rebuilding the business,
Yeah.
we've completely revamped all of our data structure on the back end of the company and have upgraded our ERP system.
Yep.
So again,
now's a good
we're
time.
leaning into all the things.
Yeah, that's great. As long as it doesn't get away from you. Our ERP implementation got away from us. It's a complete mess.
Okay.
Oh, it's awful. So we shut it down about a half a year before we shut everything down.
So ours was not. This isn't a new integration. It's just moving, advancing the one that we've already had, and starting to use more modules within it.
Changing subjects.